A lot of people are not tired because they slept too little. They are tired because their body never got the kind of sleep that actually restores energy. That is why you can spend a full 8 hours in bed, sit on the edge of the mattress, and still feel as if your battery never charged. The clock says you slept. Your body says something was missing. If that keeps happening, the first thing to check may not be your bedtime. It may be your sleep quality. And there is one small morning clue that can point you in the right direction faster than most people expect. Keep this in mind as we go. Do you wake up with a dry mouth? Because time in bed and restorative sleep are not always the same thing. One common reason is that breathing or sleep quality gets disrupted just enough to keep pulling you out of the deeper stages that actually restore energy. You may not remember waking up. You may think you slept straight through. But your body can still wake up feeling as if it worked all night, instead of recovered. That is the key idea here. If you are tired after 8 hours of sleep, the question is not only how long you slept, it is whether your body was able to stay in the kind of sleep that truly restores you. That sounds like a small distinction, but it changes what you do next. A lot of people assume that if they stayed in bed long enough, they should feel better by morning. So when they do not, they blame age, stress, or just a rough week. But your body does not care only about how many hours passed on the clock. It cares about whether you got enough uninterrupted restorative sleep. If something keeps breaking that process, even in small ways, you can wake up exhausted without understanding why. And that is exactly why this can feel so discouraging. You did what you were supposed to do. You went to bed. You stayed there. Yet the morning still feels heavy. A simple way to picture it is a phone on a loose charger. It may stay plugged in all night, but if the connection keeps cutting in and out, you do not get a full charge. Sleep can work like that too. You may be in bed for 8 hours, but if breathing, snoring, mouth breathing, or repeated sleep disruption keeps interrupting the deeper phases, the result may still feel unrefreshing. So the useful question is not just, did I sleep long enough? It is, did my body stay in the kind of sleep that restores me? If calm, practical health videos like this help you make sense of symptoms in a way that feels clear and useful, subscribe and turn on notifications so you do not miss the next one. Now let's make this practical. If the problem is poor sleep quality rather than too little time in bed, there are usually a few clues in the way the morning feels. And the reason these clues matter is simple. They help you stop guessing. The first clue is that the tiredness starts immediately, not an hour later, right away. You open your eyes and already feel behind. Your body feels dull. Your head feels thick. You may feel as if you need caffeine just to reach a normal starting point. That matters because it suggests the problem may have started during the night, not after it. The second clue is that the fatigue feels out of proportion. People often say, I could understand this if I had only slept 4 hours. But that is exactly why this gets missed. The level of exhaustion does not match the number on the clock. When the hours look reasonable but the energy does not, that is worth paying attention to. The third clue is that you may improve slowly as the morning goes on. Many people with unrefreshing sleep say the first hour or two are the worst. It takes time to feel mentally present. It takes time for the fog to lift. That does not prove one cause, but it does fit the pattern of sleep that looked long enough without feeling restorative. And that brings us back to the clue I asked you to hold on to. Before coffee, before breakfast, before you pick up your phone, check your mouth. Do you wake up with a dry mouth on the mornings you feel the most drained? That may sound too simple, but it is one of the most useful morning clues to notice. Dry mouth can happen for different reasons. Some medications can do it. A dry room can do it. Nasal congestion can do it. So this is not a diagnosis. But when dry mouth keeps showing up together with that I slept all night and still feel awful pattern, it can point toward mouth breathing, snoring, or breathing disruption during sleep. And that is why this clue matters, not because it proves anything by itself, but because it tells you where to look next. Breathing disruption can break up restorative sleep without fully waking you in a way you remember. So if the hours look fine but the morning still feels wrong, this is one of the most practical first clues to notice. If you wake up tired after 8 hours of sleep and you also notice dry mouth, snoring, a mild morning headache, or that heavy, not quite awake feeling, that combination is often more informative than the hour total alone. You may also notice other small patterns around it. A partner may mention noisy breathing or pauses. You may wake with a slightly sore throat. You may get up to use the bathroom more often than you expect. Your concentration may feel unusually slow in the first part of the morning. None of these prove one cause on their own, but together they can point towards sleep that looked complete from the outside without being truly restorative on the inside. And that is the shift I want you to make. Stop asking only, how many hours did I sleep? Start asking, what was the quality of the sleep my body actually got? That question is often much more useful, and once you ask it, the next step becomes much clearer. Tomorrow morning, before coffee or tea, rate your energy from 1 to 10. Then ask yourself one more question. Is my mouth dry right now? That is it. You are not trying to solve everything in one morning. You are trying to notice whether the same clue keeps showing up on the same kind of morning, because a pattern gives you something concrete. Guessing usually does not. And while you watch that pattern, there are a few safe things you can try. If it is comfortable for you, try sleeping on your side instead of flat on your back. If alcohol in the evening tends to make your sleep feel heavier or rougher, notice whether reducing that changes anything. If nasal congestion is a regular problem, ask a clinician or pharmacist about safe ways to manage it. And if you are on a medication that causes dry mouth, do not stop it on your own, but do ask whether timing or alternatives should be reviewed. These are not cure-all steps. They are simply low-risk ways to learn more about what may be affecting your sleep quality. Now here is the part most people miss, and it is often the reason they brush this off for too long. Do not judge your sleep only by whether you remember waking up. Restorative sleep can be disrupted many times without leaving you with a clear memory of those interruptions. In other words, the night can seem quiet and still fail to restore you. That is why this problem is so easy to dismiss. You think, I slept straight through, so that cannot be it. But your morning energy may be telling you something different. That is also why the dry mouth clue is so useful. It is not dramatic. It is not complicated, but it gives you a real-world sign that the problem may be sleep quality, not just sleep length. If this keeps happening, especially with snoring, dry mouth, morning headaches, or someone noticing pauses in your breathing, ask a clinician whether a sleep evaluation makes sense. That can include looking at medications, reflux, allergies, nasal blockage, and in some cases whether sleep testing would help. Get urgent help for severe breathing trouble, chest pain, sudden confusion, or dangerous sleepiness, such as nodding off while driving. So for the next 3 mornings, keep it simple. Rate your energy. Notice dry mouth. Pay attention to weather. The same pattern shows up on the days you feel most drained. That kind of tracking is often far more useful than trying to rely on memory alone. If you have not subscribed already, subscribe, like this video, and share it with someone who always says, I slept enough, so why am I still exhausted? And in the comments, tell me whether your morning energy feels worst right when you wake up, or whether dry mouth is one of the patterns you notice. 8 hours in bed is not always the same as 8 hours of truly restorative sleep.